It's day 15. After crossing the equator, we made good time, averaging almost 7 knots. Well, only 4 more days left. Less than 4 days. Well, somewhere around 4 days.
610 nautical miles.
610 nautical miles. So at 150 miles a day, that's 4 days. So we're looking at 96 hours to go. The winds are expected to be kind of strong today, 12 to 17 knots with some gusts up to 20. So we'll kind of keep an eye on. We haven't reefed at the moment, but you know, if it starts picking up, we'll do that. We'll take a look at it. Kind of a lazy day here. We haven't had to do much, but the wind has really picked up today. It's been 15 to 17 knots all day. So we've been really moving fast, but that makes for some choppy weather here. We were moving really fast, touching 9 knots on occasion. Lots of flying fish still. It's kind of nice though, the little time to destination thing keeps ticking down below 3 days. Realistically, we're still looking at 3.5 days. We'll be there in the morning in 3.5 days, but it's crazy. I mean, like right now it says 68 hours to destination. Well, I guess I got to be careful what I wish for. There's been 2 separate days that I've been wondering, are we gonna have enough content to make a good video today? And both of those days ended up going crazy. The first time was when we had the spinnaker hourglass, and then this time, now we got problems. We were starting the motor, I mean, we don't need it for propulsion, we need it to run the refrigerator and charge batteries. When we put it in forward, it's not getting any throttle and it doesn't feel like it's going into forward. We tried just putting it in neutral and giving it some gas. There was no increase in RPM, so we're thinking it's probably the throttle cable has broken. I guess it could be a shifter cable, but it's probably the throttle cable. We're heeled over and it's kind of choppy seas, but I'm gonna have to go underneath in a little, in an airplane you'd call it a hell hole, in a boat you call it a, I gotta go down in there and check it out. I'm really not a big fan of the way the aft equipment bay is accessed. It can really be a pain. Here I am inside the hellhole. The throttle linkage is up this way, and I'm going to check to make sure it's still connected. And I don't know. This is the throttle, and that is the transmission line. They're both moving up here, so we're going to run these, look at these, and see where they connect to the engine, and see what's going on there. All right, so this is our throttle cable right here. When we move the cable back at the lever, it's moving back at that part, but it's not moving here. And it's one of those kind of cables that, I mean, we just got to replace the whole cable. There's no other way about it.
The shifter cable is done, or I'm sorry, throttle cable is done.
You pulled it out of the arm?
The in complete one. As soon as I gave it a little tug, it completely pulled out. So it's history. So
fun times ahead.
Here's how we're gonna have to do it. You're gonna have to have the hatch open right there and someone controlling the throttle while you're doing the driving once we get into port.
That sounds like a fun time.
I mean, it's doable. It's gonna suck, but it's doable.
So we'll call the owners of the boat, who are Gulf Charters Thailand, so they're pretty good about, you know, if they got a boat that's down somewhere and needs fixing. I imagine, heck, we're 4 days away.
Not even.
I mean,
3 days?
I'll call the owners and just say, hey, have us a throttle cable waiting when we get there.
This little baby right here is gonna save the day.
And we've already been on the phone with the owner. He was up at 5 in the morning working great with us to get us a new part. They're gonna, hopefully it'll be there waiting for us in Eva. But we have a couple temporary fixes that we're gonna be working on. Solution part 1 is complete. What we've done here is we've got this zip tie line right here And we got it, we can hook it back on this little notch right here. And when we hook it back on that notch, we measured it out with the engine running. That's 1,000 RPM, which is 1,000 RPM is what we need to run our refrigerator and to give the alternator enough power to charge everything. So that is solution number one. So we're not gonna lose our refrigerator and we're not gonna run out of battery power. Solution number two will be to rig a throttle cable using this type stuff. From there, back up into the cockpit. There's only been 2 days, I think, that we've all been kind of ready for a break, and today I think is one of them. And then there was a couple days, about 4 or 5 days ago, when we were like, okay. It has to do with the wind, because right now we're kind of beating into the wind a little bit. So the apparent wind angle is only about 45, 50 degrees off our port side. And so that's not the most comfortable point of sail, because you're kind of riding into the waves and you're heeled over a good amount. It's just not a real comfortable sail. So it's kind of one of those days we're kind of ready to get there.
I spent my day pretty much in bed. I didn't do anything. I think it's just like all the heat and just the work of your muscle groups, I guess, healing all the time and holding on to everything and trying not to fall. I think that's all just kind of catching up with me. I feel on the dehydrated side. My neck hurts, my back hurts. I'm tired of holding on to everything. I'm tired of just sitting out in the sun all the time. Yeah, I guess that's the thing.
Problem solved for now. Anchoring might be fun. We'll see. I don't know. Yeah, other than that, pretty good day. Making tracks, like 500 miles to go to Idaho.
This video channel is funded by viewers like you, and you can become a patron for as little as $1 a week.